another source that talks about this in Midrash Rabbah, beginning of Breshit Rabbah, Lech Lecha, chapter 46. It says to Avram Avinu, "V'natati lecha lazaracha acharecha et eretz megurecha." I gave you, God says, I'll give you this and to your seed forever, for those seeds after you, your nation, this land. On this verse, we saw the Rashi. On this verse, Rashi said that when you're in the land, then I will be unto you a God. As our sages said, all those who live outside the land as if they have no God. In other words, this is on this verse, Rashi himself, we brought down last week, I believe, how he says that there I will give you, there I will be unto you a God. He emphasizes the word there, Vasham, there I will give you this land, and there I will be unto you a God. And here also Chazal say in the Midrash, where it's underlined, Im nichnasim banecha la'aretz. You want to give out there? If your children, when your children enter the land, hen mekablim elokuti, then they will accept my divinity.
So, may I ask a question?
Before he even sits down, he has a question.
From
You can sit.
From the western coast of Eretz Israel to the Euphrates, isn't that also promised to the children of Israel?
Yeah, you have the borders there. See that map? That's the promised border. That's this week's Parashah. Parashat Masei gives the borders.
Go to you there as well.
It's a good question. There's the rabbis describe the different levels. There's three. It says there's three lands, three parts of Eretz Yisrael. Yehuda, Ever HaYarden, Yehuda. There's three levels. So there are different levels for different things. For the advantage of burial here, for the prophecy, for the commandment of dwelling in the land. So the different definitions, there's different borders for the land of fulfilling the commandments of the land. In other words, the Trumot Masrot, the agricultural commandments. Does that apply in all those borders, or which borders? Those that conquered, that came back from Bavel, Olei Bavel. So there's different borders for different things. So there's a name of Eretz Yisrael, but there's the Evrei across the Jordan. There's the inside the Jordan, this part of Eretz Yisrael, to the west of the Jordan. It's totally, there's different levels, so different things. But here we'll see in general that when you enter the land of Israel, God says to Avram Avinu, when they enter the land, then they will accept my godness. V'im lo einam mekablim. And if not, they don't accept it, as if they don't receive my divinity. My divinity, the connection to God is through the connection to Eretz Yisrael. And we saw the vehicle through which God reveals himself to this world, connects to this world, is through this specially created vehicle called the nation of Israel and the land of Israel. That is what God created. The return to Eretz Yisrael is the reestablishment of that very vehicle that for 2,000 years hasn't been, that now enables us to, again, not us only, for the world, for God's name to be broadcast and spread to the world, as we said in Yechezkel 36, right? The Jews outside the land is before that's 37. 36 was the desecration of God's name. The Jews outside the land constitute the desecration, Chilul Hashem. What's the Chilul Hashem? Because God doesn't have that vehicle. His name, right? His name, Chilul Hashem, desecration of His name. Not God. He's not desecrated. He's beyond the borders of worldliness. But how we, the world, can receive and express His name in the world, that good, that divine life force that infuses the content and uplifting value and vitality to this world, depends on the vehicle that God created to receive it. Just like the heart in the body receives the life, the blood that flows to all the limbs. Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael is this life source that enables God's name. So that's why outside the land, the prophet, God says through the prophet Yechezkel, is the desecration of my name. My name cannot be expressed. But here we're talking about why it's like idolatry. Right? Not just a desecration, it's not just a graveyard in Yechezkel 37. Why is it likened here to idolatry? Jews that are religious, from how can we say that they're idol worshippers? And this is from the Talmud Bavli, the rabbis in Bavel saying this, right, in the borders of. So this isn't in Chutz La'aretz. But here, this Midrash, when your children enter the land, objectively, that is when they receive my divinity. Those are the borders that enable God's name to come to this world.